Good morning. Please remain standing. Platform guests, distinguished faculty, graduates, family, and friends. First, I'll introduce myself. My name is Ron Kimberling. I'm the president of Argosy University's campuses in Illinois. And I'll have another introduction in just a minute. Also some housekeeping, but before we do that, let's remain standing for the presentation of the colors by American Legion Post 57, and please remain standing for the national anthem after the colors presentation. So we'll start with the colors. Thank you to the American Legion for the presentation of the colors. And now everyone can please be seated. So, the 2014 commencement ceremony This represents a couple of milestones. The original institution that became Argosy University-Schaumburg was founded in 1979, so it's 35 years old. And it entered into what became the Argosy University family, starting with the Illinois School of Professional Psychology in 1994, 20 years ago. So this is a very special graduation ceremony. A couple of housekeeping things. So the first thing I'm going to ask everyone to do is take this little thing out of your pocket or purse and put it turn it off or put it on vibrate. I don't want anyone being embarrassed. Okay. And I've learned over the years, if you don't display it and show it, somebody's going to forget. The other thing is, please remain in your seats during the presentation of the diplomas. There are professional photographers. The aisles and the front area are quite crowded, and I know you're excited to get that photograph of your graduate, but not while the diplomas are being presented. They will have a professional photograph available at that particular moment. And please do not take flash photography during the ceremony, okay? It's very bothersome to people in the audience and in the front. I got another one over there. So please just don't do it. No flash photography. So I guess I start as the lethal enforcer, you know. It's my pleasure, therefore, to turn over the ceremony to your real master of ceremonies, our campus operations manager, Mr. Leon Kelly.
Good morning. While today is a day to recognize the success of our graduates and to celebrate the accomplishments of an important life goal, it's also a day of thanks. So at this time, I would like to ask all the graduates to please stand up. Now, graduates, please turn around and face the audience. And now, graduates, in honor of all of those you have here who are family, friends, or your other loved ones who have helped you reach this goal today, please show your thanks by applauding the audience. Okay, thank you. Graduates, please be seated. So at this time, I would like to introduce our platform guests. First of all, Dr. Ron Kimberling, who you've already met. Then our Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Van Winkle. Then I want to introduce our department chairs. Please stand when I call your name. Dr. Anne Marie Belmonte, Department Chair, Undergraduate Studies. Dr. John Palmer, Department Chair, College of Business. Dr. Adam Froer, Department Chair, Organizational Leadership. Dr. Renee Jacob, Acting Department Chair, College of Education. Dr. Dale Stepkowski, Department Chair, Counseling. Dr. Cameron Brewer, Associate Department Chair, Illinois School of Professional Psychology. And Dr. Jim Wasner, Program Dean and Chair, Illinois School of Professional Psychology. Next, I want to introduce our marshals, and I would ask that you please stand as I call your name. Dr. Donna Mahoney. Dr. Jim Dugo. Dr. Bob Emme. And Dr. Julie Robinson. There's one other person I think we need to recognize at this point in time, and it's the person who really is responsible for putting this together this year. She's done an awesome job in getting everything organized, getting tickets to all the graduates, and helping us be prepared to provide a great day today, and that's Amy Lewicki. So without further ado, I want to turn the podium over to Dr. Van Winkle, who will introduce our speaker for the day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly. Bob Zima is an inspirational speaker, author, humorist, licensed clinical professional counselor, and media producer. He calls himself a frequent flyer to hell and back, and once you have heard his story, you will agree. Bob has personally experienced and lived through the crisis and trauma of alcohol and drug addiction with 20 years of recovery, financial devastation, bankruptcy, homelessness, infidelity, near divorce, and the death of 2 infant children. He writes, hosts, and produces The Bob Zima Show, a humor and healing-oriented radio show and podcast. He has published 2 books and produced 2 videos on grief and healing. Bob received a Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology from Trinity Evangelical Divinity School located in Deerfield, Illinois. He has worked in the counseling field since 2006 as a clinical supervisor. His program has been nationally recognized by the Joint Commission on Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations and the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Prior to returning to school, Bob worked in the advertising, corporate communications, marketing, and broadcast media industries as a producer, director, and writer for nearly 17 years. From 1990 to 92, Bob trained and performed with the Players Workshop of Chicago's Second City. He also performed comedy with Comedy Sports and Improv Olympics in the early 1990s. He wrote a teleplay, The Madcap Murder of Mortimer D. Banks, which featured Second City players and aired on cable television in 1992. Bob's passion includes a love for hockey, NASCAR, and the Professional Bull Riders Tour. He is an avid film buff, and mostly he enjoys spending his time with his wife and 2 children. Please welcome Mr. Bob Zima.
Thank you. Let me just take it in. Coming to the symphony, working at the Ecker Center for Mental Health, I have wanted to play the Hemmens for many years, and holy cats, I get to do it today. So I'm very excited. And this is exciting for me, and hopefully it'll be exciting for you. I just have to shut this a second so that my script will stay. It's only 40 pages. Don't worry. Picture this. You, soon-to-be alumni of Argosy University, embark upon a journey into the depths of your soul, beyond that which is known to anyone. You begin an adventure, a quest of sorts, of epic proportions, as vast as space itself and timeless as infinity, to share your conquests, your hopes, and your dreams, to inspire others and motivate yourself, to fill that middle ground between light and shadow, science and superstition, student and graduate, reality and fantasy. You are about to enter a dimension of imagination that I call the story zone, like those traditions of Instagram, Vine, or even that miraculous application known as the Tube of You. It's called YouTube, for goodness sakes. So you can share your story that's worth 1,000 words. Look at you in your cap and gown. It speaks volumes to the audiences following you through the worldwide interweb. The alphabet inspired the innovations of Chinese printing blocks and Gutenberg's press. These old-school techno advancements allowed story to be documented and distributed, then read by people at their own leisure, sort of like our modern-day blogosphere. Marconi helped story reach mass audience. Perhaps you are familiar with Orson Welles' great punk, the War of the Worlds. Wow. Now talk about a social media coup that completely rocked the world. What a fabulous podcast of yesteryear. You have that stellar and out-of-this-world power to rock your own world, to share your stories. What have you got to lose? Nothing. You may just inspire someone or even motivate yourself. Today, you don't have to be a tribal leader, an inventor, or a big-time movie producer and director to communicate the power of your own story. Heck, even I have a podcast and blog, so anybody can get one. In your pocket, a modern techno gadget suddenly springs to life. Vibrations radiate forth. Turn off your cell phones, we heard, but once again, you didn't listen to the professors on the stage, now did you? Of course not. Nor did I in my hockey phone. But then you ask yourself, should I try to very nonchalantly maybe kind of look at it and see? Yes. To see who is calling? Heck no, Bob Zima is speaking, and this guy's good. Who could be texting or calling anyways, you say? Everyone that knows you is here anyways. Your mind starts to take you on a roller coaster Rolodexed ride, but you can't resist. You must look. You read the text. You pause. You read it again. You shake your head. You're confused, confounded. What dimension have you traveled into at the mere prompting of this guest speaker? What? Steven Spielberg and J.J. Abrams? They want to produce a miniseries based on my life? Yes, your life. Imagine that. Why me? You ponder. I'm not that interesting. Doubt starts to creep in. Well, maybe I'm a little interesting. Okay, somewhat interesting. Or at least that's what my BF, GF, BFF, MOM, and DAD say. Or do they have to say that? My internal confidence is growing. Whew. But then panic sets in. What if people find out that I'm fearful? No, actually terrified of dreaming, hoping, and striving for a future that I have long imagined. What then? Then I'm stuck telling that story. The tale of me digging my way out of the well of souls, a snake pit where my dreams have gone to die. After graduation, I'm smelling like French fries, splattered with milkshake. My Mick career is busted. I'm a Mick failure. How did I get here? Your imagination, of course. You just made it all up. Or actually, I just did. Did I scare any of you? Did I trigger a nasty memory or a deep-seated fear? You see, with imagination, you can succeed as well. Yeah, I like that. My imagination running away with me. Ah, the temptations of imagination's direction. You control that, you know. How you imagine the future, you do. You can be whoever you want to be in your imagination because you have the power of story in you. The power of story is the engine of imagination and memory. The power of story propels dreams, fosters faith and hope, inspires and motivates. Movie makers, novel writers, playwrights, song scribes, poets, and even you, the author of the story of your life, use a couple of structural components when crafting your tale. First, the lead character always faces adversity, accepts challenge, and ultimately, against all odds, succeeds. Like completing a college education. Securing a collegiate degree is not easy, or something you can do in your sleep. Although some professors, not of course on this stage, bored you to death. Just staying awake was the challenge of taking their class. Just like Indiana Jones on his quest for the Ark of the Covenant, the Crystal Skull, and the Holy Grail. Holy cats, that guy was busy. How did he have time to teach? You remained focused on the prize and secured your treasure. For without that treasure of a college degree, you may fall into the dark and gloomy well of souls. Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes? Or for some of you, McShakes. Why does it have to be McShakes? I hate shakes. I'm more of a smoothie guy. Second, lead characters stumble, make mistakes, learn life lessons, and develop perseverance while improving their character and self-concept. Like Jack, Kate, and Sawyer, you may have felt lost in certain classes, or perhaps even the building. Where in the heck is the bathroom? I can't find my classroom. Where are the vending machines? There's a Starbucks on every corner in Schaumburg, yet it takes a major expedition to some fictitious radio tower on some island